Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday to everyone. Y'all, why did I just hit myself like real hard in my eye? Like right before I came on, I hit myself like real hard in the eye. Like my whole eye is it's burdened. It's burdened, but welcome everyone. Thank you for joining in. I promised y'all that I'll try to come on here at least once a week or every other week to talk to you about, just like the wonderful things that are happening in my life and bringing it into perspective to hopefully to spread hope and give someone else some inspiration and joy. So I don't think anything. I know that that is why we are created now. It took me some time to understand that. It took me some time to understand that my vulnerability brings someone else healing and someone else joy. Your vulnerability brings someone else healing and someone else joy because in this world that I work in of life coaching, people really feel that they're alone. People feel that they are the only person that is experiencing their own suffering, right? And so when you get in a collective cell of people, then you hear other people talk about their vulnerabilities and things that they're struggling with, regardless if they're successful or not, or they're striving for success, then it gives you a sense of hope. It gives you a sense of hope. It gives you something to feel alive about. It gives you something to have peace with. Like, oh my gosh, I am not alone. And that means that I can get through this because if she can get through this, then I can get through this. If he can get through this, then I can get through this. So anyway, I wanted to talk to y'all about this challenge that I have brought upon myself. But I did this when I was 19. So when I was 19, I went on this quest of trying to figure out who God was for me, who, um, how, how did He make sense in my life, regardless of my heritage and what I was taught, and how could I form a relationship with Him? So a lot of us may be struggling with that. You may be struggling with that. You may be struggling with your relationship with God, and does God really hear me? And am I taking the right steps in my life in the path which God wants me to go in? Or is this just is just that's my way? So I want to share with you here recently what has happened. So on Thursday and Friday, those of you who don't know me who are jumping on, if you decide to share this, go ahead and share it out. So I'll go ahead and introduce myself. So my name is Master Coach LaKendra Smalley. I'm the founder and CEO of the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs, where we certify, train, and develop life coaches into taking that big plunge into entrepreneurship, where they can turn their gifts into profits, where they can turn their gift into their legacy, where they can turn their gifts into abundance, where they can turn their gifts into joy. So we do that for our coaches in so many ways. And so that's who I am. And thank you for joining in. Go ahead and, tell me where you're from. I always tell people when you come into someone's house, you introduce yourself. You say, hey everybody, how are you doing? My name is LaKendra and I'm from Texas, or I'm from, Asia, Japan, wherever you're from. Just say hello and leave your footprint. Like, it's your responsibility to always leave your footprint. Don't silently come into the house. Come into the house boldly so people can see you, showing up, and leave your footprint with that honor. Leave your footprint with, hey, I'm here so we can see you. So thank you for everyone who's showing up. And let me see if I can see the comments. Live viewer, show. Let's see. No, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do. I can't see y'all comments, but make sure you're leaving your comments there. So anyway, So on Thursday and Friday, I've learned self-caring is something that I can do. Like I am amazing at doing self-care because I love myself. I'm going to always put myself first when it comes to love. Hello, I'm Coach Marissa. I see you're here. Hello, Master Coach Hasbeen. I see. I had to plug in on my phone. Thank you for joining in. So I am notorious for self-care and I am notorious for self-love because the more you self-care, it builds up your self-love. It really tells your psyche, it really tells your soul that you care about yourself. Um and it's you showing and honoring yourself and being kind to yourself. So I got that down pat, right? So on Thursday and Friday, my body was like, hey girl, you've been working extremely hard, let's chill out. That's the reason why I work for myself. I work for myself so I can have, um, the power to do what it is that I need to do. So on Thursday and Friday, I rested. Like I really slept myself into oblivion. It was like I was so out of it, just off and on all day. And it felt so good. And then because of that, whenever I'm resting like heavily like that, then I go into a deep reflection because I dream a lot. So I had dreams. My mom appeared in my dream. My grandmother appeared in my dream. They talked to me. I had some people who have not come to pass in my life yet, but they talk to me in my dream, or their kids or something. I don't know. Like it'd be so weird when I zone out like that. But I had these people who have not come to pass yet come talk to me in my dream. So I was having all these conversations, and then it brought me to have this conversation with God while I was sleeping, and I was just like, just being in gratitude. Like, I don't know if you've ever been just in gratitude in your sleep, or if you ever kind of have like days off, like during the day, and found yourself kind of like in um, like a meditation. You know what I mean? Like a meditation, but you're not in deep meditation. You're kind of like in awareness meditation. So that's how it was for me. And I found myself having like this conversation with God, and and He was so pleased. Like, I don't know if you've ever had a conversation with God where it felt so real and so divine. And so I'm talking to God, and God says to me in my dream, what is it that you want? What is it that you want? And I said to God, just to be closer to you, because I know if I'm closer to you, my life is right where it needs to be. And for the first time ever in 45 years, and I've had these encounters with God before, I saw God weep, like truly weep in gratitude, right? So we're both weeping, like I really had like this cry out with God, like in my dream. So we're both weeping, and I just told God, like, that's really what I want. Like, I don't want to ask you for materialistic things anymore. I don't want to, because I feel like you've given me that. Like, truly, what do you give a girl who has everything that she really wants, right? Because I also know that if it's something that I want, I know how to get it. So how do you give, you know, there's nothing more that you can really give me, because everything that I need, I already have the intelligence. You've already given me the power. So I don't need to ask. I don't need to keep asking you for the same things over and over and over again. So my best answer is, how do I create a better and a more abundant relationship with you? Because that relationship with you gives me a bigger space of love and a bigger space of whatever this life, this time that I have left with life. I want to just be it in abundance. And so God wept and I wept with God. Then I woke up. When I woke up, it was Saturday. I felt refreshed, and I went and spent the whole day at the spa. So I first went and got my nails. I went and got a manicure and a pedicure. You know, shout out. Look, oh, you hear it. Shout out to my nail tech. She's amazing. And then I went down to the spa and I spent, you know, the full day at the spa. You know, when I go to the spa, I go get like a 2 hour. I love a 2 hour massage. I get my facials. I love being on the hydro machine, like just a full day. I just spent the full Saturday. And my question, because I told God that I was going to ask him questions that will bring me closer to him. So if you're in that state right now, like this, you know, a lot of people don't like to talk about, you know, God and getting closer to God. I get that. So if this is not for you, you know, just say hey and get on off. But this is for people who know how real God is in their life and they show up for God every day. They show up for God every day because that's what you're yearning for. Like, no more of this chaos, no more of living in suffering, and no more accepting suffering because you know God is so much bigger. It's a graph that I draw out for my clients when they come to me with heavy suffering. The first thing I do is bring them back. I bring them back to God, or I bring them back to who their creator is, because I always respect, because all of the creators are the same. So I respect whomever and I bring them back, because the fastest you can be brought back to God's love, then you can get back on the path of success, of healing, of abundance, of peace, of, you know, releasing suffering. You get back on it real fast. So here's the thing. So before I left the house on Saturday to go on my journey of self-caring, I asked God, who am I? That was it. I got dressed. I sat down because it was like I heard God remind me of our special moment that I had in my dream. And he said, don't forget about me. That's what he said in my head. He was like, don't forget about me, because we're gonna work on our relationship for 21 days. I was like, okay. So I asked God, like, who am I? I wanted God to show me how he saw me. And that just really just gave me like goosebumps. Have you ever thought to yourself, how does God see me? And all of this shit I'm breaking in my life, I know I'm not living the way I'm supposed to live. I know that I can be doing better. So, like, God, like, who am I? Like, how do you see me? That's what I asked God before I left the house. Now, I hadn't been out the house for like a week. So, you know, I'm getting ready to go on this journey. My anxiety is always high when I leave the house. And so I had to, you know, calm myself down, and that calmed me down. So I asked the question, I left the house. Y'all, I'm sitting in, my first stop was the nail salon. So I go get my manicure and my pedicure, and I can get it done at my spa, but I'm loyal. I'm loyal. That's one of my core values. And I love my spa tech. So I stopped by her first, like, hey, you know, I want to get my manicure, pedicure done. And as I'm sitting there, in the years, and I've been going to get my manicure and pedicure since like my teen years. So since my teen years to 45 years old, everybody, I have never seen chaos in an establishment before, like what happened to me on Saturday. So chaos broke out. Let me tell y'all the story. We're all sitting, you know, everybody is relaxing. Y'all know, women who are on here, and men. So men, you know, y'all be invading our space too. Everybody's just sitting there zen down and real relaxing. And all of a sudden I hear, bitch, what you say? And all hell broke loose. I'm talking about, there were so many Black bitches, you unworthy bitch, you low class bitch, if my mind was like, if you could think of that emoji, like my mind was blown. And I'm looking at this. I'm looking at these two beautiful Black queens have an argument. They're strangers. They don't know each other. So this next slide that I'm going to show you is of that experience right here. So follow my cursor. If you can see my cursor, say yes. If you can see my cursor on the screen, can you see it on the screen or no? Can you not see it? Let me know if you put yes if you can see my cursor on the screen, or put no so I can direct you with this picture, because I want to paint this picture for you. So y'all let me know yes that you can see it, or no that you can't see it. Okay. Okay. Anybody? Someone put yes that you can see the cursor on my screen, or no, you can't see it. Because if not, then I'll have to direct you a different way. Okay, no. Okay, great. So let me tell you this. Okay, so look at the picture. There's a woman walking in the center. On your right, if you're looking, so I guess it will be your right. I'm facing my screen, so on my left, you'll see a Black woman sitting with a white mask on. If y'all see her, put I see her with the white mask on. Then on my right, which is your left, at the very front, you will see another woman sitting with a blue mask on. You'll see a man sitting in the middle. Like I said, men be invading our space. But 2 seats down from him, you will see a woman with a blue mask on. If you can see those two people, put I see them. Look, I just put I see them so I can know that y'all are following me, because this, I'm telling y'all this story of how God showed me exactly what I asked them. So I'm sitting, of course, I'm sitting at the back because that's my seat. Everybody know that's where I sit. Everybody who are familiar with this place, they know that I sit. My space is in the back. So basically what happened was the woman in the white mask was relaxing. She was relaxing. And the woman in the blue mask was on her phone. So the woman in the white mask said, "Ma'am, do you mind?" It was something like that. "Do you mind?" And the woman in the blue mask said, "Mind what?" And she said, "We're here trying to relax. Do you mind getting off of your phone?" And all hell broke loose because of the ask. So the woman in the blue mask, and you see the proximity, like they're not too far apart from each other. So in my mind, instead of me really connecting to the chaos, I connected immediately to God, because I asked God before I left, who am I? How do you see me? Right? So in my mind, I'm like, God, do you see me as chaos? Like, seriously, that's because right now I'm just like in this Zen, I'm in this Zen moment. And I'm hearing them arguing and bickering. And I'm talking about, it was every degrading Black bitch, worthy bitch. I make all of this money and I can pay for everybody, services in here. The woman in the blue mask was so angry, but the woman in the white mask, you can tell that she was much mature, but she allowed the woman in the blue mask just to rip away all of her core values, because she was trying to stand up for herself. But every time she tried to stand up for herself, instead of just silence, like, you don't know this woman, it's a complete stranger, just silence. You said what you had to say. Why keep carrying on? There were people who came into the establishment that left. Y'all, it was a big mess. And it lasted for about 15 minutes. The owner wasn't there. He actually had stepped out. And the ladies that normally run the shop, they just really didn't know how to handle it. They didn't. So finally, the lady that was way in the back, she came out and she got the woman in the blue to finally quiet down. And in my mind, I was thinking, God, are you showing me that you feel that I'm still wrestling with something? Like what is this? Because I'm asking him who I am, right? But I had a sense of peace in that because in my mind, I was like, I'm going to have an opportunity to speak to both of these women before I leave here, right? Because that was my whole thing, like just to honor both of them, just to honor both of them because they had tore each other down to the lowest common denominator. Then this happened. So I want you to look at this picture, look at this picture, and um, there's two women. If you can see the two women that are sitting across from me, there's a man with all black on. But if you look closely, they're holding hands. Look closely at that. If you can see them, they're holding hands. And I hate that you can't see my cursor. I wish the cursor was a thing on here. But look really closely at the picture. Let me see. I don't know if I can make it bigger. Oh, I can. So look closely at the picture. They're holding hands. So after all of the bickering that happened, all of the chaos, all of the cursing out and degrading another human being, the woman in the blue mask sitting across from me started to weep. And I just got emotional. She started to weep. And her friend in the purple mask grabbed her hand and just held space with her because all of that chaos had just overcome her. And that is when God spoke to me and said, this is who you are. This is you. This is who you are. You have become this for so many people. You have become this for those people. You have become this for them. This is your duty. And I had became so overwhelmed, like sitting in the chair. I'm just like, oh my God. Not only did he show up for me and give me a visual so I could be so clear. When you build a relationship with God, I'm talking about a true, authentic relationship with God. He will answer you so clearly if you allow him to do that. If you allow him to do that. So I'm sitting across from these two, and the girl in the purple reaches her hand out to hold space with the girl in the blue as she wept. And God said, this is who you are. And I was like, wow, honored, honored that this is how God sees me, which then led me to what is it that you want me to do in this space right now? So before I left, I made sure I greeted each one of those women by saying, don't forget that you are a queen in your highest self. And the woman that sat on the with the white mask on that was on the same row with me, she just took her hand and put it over her heart in gratitude. And then in the woman with the blue mask, she's a little bit more feistier. She was just like, thanks. But I accepted it. I did my part, right? I did my part. So I wanted to share, like literally, I took these pictures because I knew that I was going to come back and discuss this with you guys because we are all spiritual messengers. You are a spiritual messenger. And the message that you give is a life or death message. The message that comes out of your mouth to total complete strangers, to your children, to your friends, to your coworkers, to your neighbors is a life or death message, because we're all spiritual messengers. So those women bickering with each other, I'm talking about calling each other all types of just unpleasant words. They left there in a death situation. Like, they spoke so much death, so much lifeless energy in that space. And the people who suffered in the back, when I looked over across from me and I saw the woman weeping, and then I saw the woman reach her hand out to hold space with her friend, they were actually friends, they came in together. It gave me so much hope that there's 50% of us really trying to heal, and there's 50% of us in so much pain and suffering. So you have to figure out where you are and who you are as a spiritual messenger. So God is with all of us all the time. We believe in God, but our mannerisms and our behaviors doesn't reflect it. So some of you, like, even right now, you're listening, you may have like poor attitudes, like really stinky attitudes. I don't know, maybe you have a sense of entitlement. Maybe you feel like the world owe you something, so you carry this grudge and you carry this really poor aura. You carry this poor aura that gives off this vibe in every space you walk into, thinking, and I want you to keep thinking of you being a spiritual messenger. You are even a spiritual messenger when you don't speak. It's not all the time when you're speaking words. It's just you showing up in a space that doesn't belong to you. You showing up in a space that doesn't belong to you still leaves a message when you show up and you're not showing up in your full authentic self and in your highest spiritual self. So you got to remember that the God that you speak of so highly is the God that is within you. So if you want to show up and you want to show up as a high being, then you got to remember that God is always with us. And you can come to know God personally through balance of talking and listening and experiencing life together. So when I was 19, I went on this journey. I went on my spiritual journey at 19. I asked God at that time, what is it that you want from my life? Like, all of this stuff that I've learned about you, I don't really know who you are. So what do you want from me, right? So I went on this journey at 19, and God gave me my answer. He always gives me something physically because he knows his child. And he sent me a book called Conversations with God. I read Conversations with God by Neil Walsh at 20. I think I was around 20 at that time. And it changed my whole entire life. So ever since then, me reading that book. So if you haven't read it before, go and read Conversations with God. All you need is volume 1. Volume 2 and 3, it gets a little bit more complicated, and you have to be ready for that. But I really recommend volume 1. So read that book, because in my early 20s, I did 21 questions for God, and now I'm 45 doing 21 questions to God. But it's my communication with how remember I told you it's a balance of how you talk and how you listen to God or whoever it is that you believe in. Today, I talked to one of my clients, and he is from, hold on, let me tell y'all where he's from, so I won't be lying. My client today is from India, right? So I asked him, I said, what is your faith? And he said, well, my faith doesn't have a name. I said, I respect that. And he said, my faith holds me accountable for how I treat people and how I treat myself. And the suffering that happens in my life is because I reap what I sow. Is that something that He was like, I'm Hindu and this is what I practice and study. And when I told him that I embrace it and accept that, it just kind of like, we really had a great session today. But it's your communication with God. It's your balance of talking and listening. You can't talk and not listen. So when I asked God before I left the house on Saturday, who am I and how do you see me? And he showed me in plain sight. I knew that I was on the right path, on the right mode, right? On the right mode. So what I wanted to do today was offer whoever's listening, whether you get the replay or you're catching this now, the challenge. The challenge to create 21 questions that you want to ask God to bring you in a more aligned relationship with Him. Not things that you want, but things and how you really are curious about how He sees you and what is it that He really wants you to be doing and why He created you, and all of this chaos and all of this love, because even though we're in a world of chaos, we're still in a world of love as well, which is why the world continues to grow. The world continues to grow because we plant so much love in it. So don't think that the world is not filled with love. The world is only how you see it. So, and how you see the world is how you are living in the world. So if you're living in the world, in a lot of chaos and a lot of drama and a lot of suffering and a lot of pain, then you feel that the world is only that. But what I'm going to tell you on this live is if you start to change your perspective of seeing yourself as God, of really seeing yourself as love, because God is love, we're made in the image of God, then you will continue to see the world as love. It'll blossom, it'll grow. So I'm going to share 10, just 10 of my questions. I have 21, but I'm going to share 10 of my questions with you. And if you don't mind, share one of your questions, because I may want to use one of your questions or someone else may want to use one of your questions. Everybody know when you come on my live, we're doing something interactive. So I don't know why y'all come and stay here and then don't think you're not going to participate. So my first question was, who am I and how do you see me? So it's always God. I start my day off with God. Who am I and how do you see me? He's already answered that question. He saw me as love. He saw me as embrace. He saw me as comfort. He saw me as a healer. And he showed me that through the story that I told you. So if you're just jumping on, catch the replay so you can go and hear that story. My question that I asked him today, which is Sunday, I said, how can I help those that are suffering? That's what I asked God on today. How can I help those that are suffering? And my clients that I saw today, I normally see new clients on Sunday. So my new clients that I saw on today, one being from India, and his religion is Hinduism. And that's how God showed up for me. How can I help those that are suffering? Regardless of who they are and what they choose, I still need for you to meet them with love. I still need for you to meet them with acceptance. I still need for you to give them healing and power. And that's what he answered my question on today. How can I help those that are suffering? So my answer that I got today was to be embracing, to be accepting, to be non-judgmental, and to greet everybody with love, regardless of who they are, where they come from, regardless of if they're man or female, if they're, if they like the same sex or not, if they are practicing another spirituality or religion or not. All of these humans that you meet, LaKendra, are my children. That was my answer. On tomorrow, my question is going to be, can we have fun today? I can't even imagine what kind of fun me and God is gonna have on tomorrow. Because I'm gonna ask him on tomorrow, God, can we have fun today? You know, tomorrow is Monday. Actually, you know what? And it's so funny that tomorrow I'm asking that question, and tomorrow I actually meet with my apprentice, and we always have fun when we come together. So that's gonna be super cool. So tomorrow I'm gonna ask, can we have fun today? Then my next question is, what do you want me to accomplish today? Can you imagine? Can you imagine asking God a direct question and waiting for him to show up for you with an answer? This is how you create balance and an alliance with God. Because you really know we co-create with God. He gave us the power to do so. But in my dream, I told God, like, I just want to get closer to you. Because getting closer to you, there's no way I can fail. Okay, so my next question is, who do you want me to help heal? God, who do you want me to help heal today? So that's my next question. And then how do you want me to self-care today? You know, and I'm asking that because my my thought about it is there a higher way? Like, because I do so much stuff, you know, I'm real spiritual. I'm into spiritual energy, and I'm into astrology, and I'm into meditation and prayer, like all that stuff. So I am really looking forward of God showing me just another way. Like, I'm looking forward to that. What shall my sacrifice be? Y'all, you got to be careful. I remember when I asked this in my early 20s, like, God, what shall my sacrifice be? And I never forget, like, the guy that I was dating at that time, he was the sacrifice. God was like, he is so in dissonance with you. Like, you're not going to reach your highest self in this relationship. Why are you here, Leandra? So be careful. If you're going to ask that question, if you're writing these down, make sure you are ready to show up for God's answer. When you say, what shall my sacrifice be today? That's a deep one. Oh, that is so deep. Okay. My other question is, question number 7 is, what shall I do to serve in my highest calling today? So question 7 is, what shall I do to serve in my highest calling today? I can't imagine what that is going to be like either, because I'm asking God, my highest calling, I need for you to look, I'm okay. Take me up a notch if you need me to. Go there. I am ready. So these questions need to be very specific for you. I may be reading some of the questions and you may be resonating with them and you can use them, but be sure it's very authentic within your core. Okay. And question number 8 says, how will you give me more space to love today? So, God, how will you give me more space to love today? Like, I just feel like my heart has expanded as big as it possibly can get. But there is an alive thought that lives still in my core saying that there's more expansion. I don't know if do you hear those thoughts that you really have deep down inside and you really don't entertain? Because it's like sometimes you'd be like, am I crazy or what? No, they're thoughts that want to live, right? It wants to be it wants to be nourished, it wants to be planted, and it wants to be birthed. So I'm birthing all of these alive thoughts that I'm having just by getting closer with God. That's how I want to do. That's how I want to do this next spiritual enlightenment that I want to have with God. So question number 9 is, how will you give me more space to love? And then question number 10, right, um, is it something you want special from me on today? So those are the 10 questions that I'm going to be asking God for the next 8 days, because I'm already in day 2 for me. So you start your day 1 when you need to start your day 1. But to ask God, is there something that you want me to do? You know, like, is there something special you want me to do today? And actually hear God speak through your spirit. So these are my 10 questions I have been writing down. And then here are my other questions. So I have all 21 questions, but you need to really sit and reflect. Whatever you need to do to go on reflection, for me, I needed 3 days. Like, I needed 3 days of resting. So I rested Thursday and Friday. And then Saturday, I did a whole day of spa. And then Sunday, boom, I'm so refreshed. I cooked. I did a little cleaning. I saw my clients. I did holding space for the coaches. And so I am like on fleek for the rest of October. Actually, like for the rest of the year. So it's your responsibility to, it's really your responsibility to care a little bit more for yourself and to take care of your heart. It is. And if you feel like you don't like things about you, change them. Fight to change them. You sacrifice them. So you don't have to ask God for that, because those things are things that you created, right? God gives us the power to create. So that attitude that you may have, those limited beliefs that you have, the fear, you created those. And when you go and ask God to remove them, he's like, I've given you the power to do that. Ask me something more divine, you know? So the things that you can take care of, you take care of. And the things that you want to know more to move you into your highest self, into your highest creation, to be more like God, to be more in relationship, more in a co-creation with God, then you prepare those 21 questions and go on the challenge with me. That's what I wanted to share with you on today. I wanted to share. I came to y'all with my little flower bunny. It's only because my hair is conditioning, so that's my hair is in condition. So I got my little flower bunny on. I got my glasses. My these are really like filled with gold. I love them. My little gold glasses on, and they are prescribed. Like, I can really see out of them. And this is what I just wanted to share, because I am in so much joy. I am in so much abundance and gratefulness that God sees me as love, that God sees me as exactly why he created me. I feel it. Like, I feel that so deep down in my core. And I'm growing. Like, I'm growing into it because I surrendered all. Like, there's nothing else. There's nothing else to fear but fear itself. So thank y'all for tuning in. Tomorrow is Monday. In some parts of the world, it's already Monday. It was beautiful to hold space with some of my coaches, and they were already experiencing Monday. And I was able to deposit my gratitude for a day that I have not been promised to live yet, right? And they were able to look back on their day and give me, in themselves, like that push that you may didn't do what you needed to do yesterday, but you can do it right now. So getting outside of your territory, like getting outside of your little bubble that you live in, will expand your life in such a tremendous way of how you see the full world, and know that it's really just right here in our hands. Like, the full world is like really right here. So I'm grateful. If you're just tuning in, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you go back and catch the replay, push hashtag replay. And before you leave on today, make sure you exit with words of inspirations, whether it's if it's your favorite um if it's your favorite quote, or if it's your affirmation, or you just want to leave words of encouragement. Remember, your footprint matters, your voice matters when you show up in a room. And even showing up electronically, even showing up virtually, is still the same energy if we were physical. So make sure you say something before you leave the room, just like if you were in the physical world. You would be like, hey, y'all, I'm out of here. Bye. Peace, love, blessings, whatever y'all want to say. So I'm done. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye for now.